Okay, I think we are finally streaming. Unfortunately, I had to use my webcam mic for this because the regular mic does not seem to be working right now. I'm not sure why. Probably just that I need a new USB dock, as usual. Let's see how the audio is here. It's not great. I don't like it, but we'll have to. It'll have to do. I'll try to speak clearly. Maybe move the webcam a little closer. Okay. So I think we're just going to get right into it. We'll link it. But after that, we're just going to start with the chapter, because it's been quite a wait for anyone who actually watches these. And I think they'll want to hear my thoughts on the new chapter. I'm linking right now. Okay. So I think we're just going to get right into it. Okay, so chapter 23. Yeah, it has been quite a wait for this stream. And there's no particular reason for that. I was just occupied playing Elden Ring DLC, things like that. It kind of slipped my mind. But where we last left off, Blue had turned into the red butterfly, which Hem thinks will beat Zatch and Kyo, and Blue is instructed to kill Zatch and Kyo if she wants her and Bobby to survive. So the first attack she uses is Butterfly Needle, and her wings sort of extend outward, and this dust force comes out from behind her wings and drills down into Zatch and Kyo. Zatch blocks it with his mantle, but actually tears through it. Kyo notices not even Gesh's mantle can withstand the attack, and it looks like his arms are badly injured too. Powder. Are these butterfly scales? Ah! So these scales are sort of burning away his skin. Probably quite painful. How much longer is this going to take? With my proficiency in magic and reciting incantations, I can keep it up for about 2 more minutes. I detest drawn-out death matches. I'll be quick about it. Flap your wings and make them breathe in the deadly dust. Blast on! So, if it wasn't clear in the last chapter, which it wasn't super clear, not only is Blue using some version of her own ability here, but the Rolling Witch is also helping her using the plant spell element that she's utilizing. So it's sort of a combination, similar to what, the villains have been doing before. Welcome, Justin. Welcome, Doodles. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, if you missed other ones, they're there for you to rewatch if you like. And we've had a good turnout every month. I'm thankful for it. We've had 3-4 people consistently chatting each month. It's been nice. Zakir! She flies away. What? Did we miss? Zakir! Zakir! Wasting even more hard energy. He's very good at dodging. No. The attack hit head dead on, but the scales in her wings are repelling the blasts. So it's a little like the Mazu Jakirdan spell Zatch and Kyo have, where even if it hits, it doesn't really hit. We're low on time and hard energy. I need to determine what she can do and come up with a plan fast. Zakir! And then suddenly, Blue used this bizarre move. Disco! 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 Surrounding the fired Zakirs and blasting them back at Zatch and Kyo as a huge ball of lightning. She sent it right back? So they get hit by that, and then they dash away and try to target Hem. Zakirga! Ah, an exercise in futility. You're placing all your bets on destroying me, so that Lu can survive, correct? And Zatch and looks like they're moving around as they fire this spell and trying to get different angles. But Hem is deflecting them pretty easily. It's a decent attack, but far from fatal. Psst. He deflects the last of it, creates some little sparks there. Zip. Hard energy. It seems you let yourself dry. Morph your hands into whips of dense, poisonous powder that burn through everything in their path. Butterfly whip! So this also hits them pretty hard. As the Whirling Witch said, her hands have morphed into these weird whips of this poisonous scale power she's using. Gosh, I need to recover my hard energy. Do your best to hold on for now, and don't let them out of your sight. Stubborn pests! We have no time for this! Hooray! I think Blue is saying that. She's hitting Zatch more. Rolling Witch is saying more magic words. And I'm not really sure exactly what's happening to Blue. If she's powering up further, or if she's having trouble containing the power. But she's continuing to attack, and her face is getting kind of messed up. Hurry up and die already! I'm begging you! She's crying. She has kind of buggy eyes in this form. Okay, here we go. Finally, Ponygon's time to shine once again. Let me check I got him on camera. There he is. Blue, me never seen you cry like this before. Me can't bear to watch this. Gash and others should just give up now. This a fight with no winner. I feel for you both. You were given an chance at new life, and all you have to show for it is pain and misery. Neither one of you seem like bad people deep down. I suppose it's time I did something as well. You can just leave the rest to yours truly. Ha 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 ha! My name is Dr. Riddles! The amazing doctor who knows everything! What is that? A book? And this is the 2-page spread that broke the Discord, from what I understand. I did not see it. I did actually not get spoiled on any of this before the chapter released. But for the people who do read the previews that come out about a week before the chapter releases, yeah, have you not seen the puppet yet, Justin? I use it. It's voicing Bobby currently, is what I use it for. But once Ponygon shows up, it will voice Ponygon. So the previews that come out a week before the chapter, they cover like the first 15 pages, which is a sizable amount. And it helps scan the chapters, get a lot of the scanning done early, before the chapter comes out. And most of the fandom does not see it, I assume. Most people who read Zatch Bell 2 do not know that this preview exists. They don't go and read it. The people on our Discord server where, we do, where Ray's first post the scans, and where very close eyes kept on the release of each chapter, people do see these previews. And so there's several people talking about them when they come out, which means that when they come out, I tend to avoid the Zatch Bell 2 sections of the server until the chapter's actual release. So this was the last page of the preview. Is you see Dr. Riddles with this book shining with power and a wheelchair with a sarcophagus on it that looks quite, silly, small. A lot of people were sure that Kiddo was back. You had people in the server saying, Kiddo is back. Full stop. What are things going to be like now that Kiddo is back? It was a time of, you might say, great excitement for those people. I only went back and read this after I finished the whole chapter. My thoughts on this, I wasn't too sure. I thought maybe Raikou could possibly bring Kid back, but I didn't really want him to do that. I thought it would be more interesting for him to do something else. Something you don't really notice when you're looking at this spread is that not only is there someone behind the wheelchair, which is a little more obvious, but there's also someone behind Dr. Riddles, a sort of silhouette standing in a slightly different way. Some people on the Discord speculate that this was Kiddo's soul, somehow. Whatever that meant. That seemed like wishful thinking to me. But wait, we don't have any of Kid's spells. We can't revive him without them. So why is there a book here? It's as I said. The marvelous Dr. Riddles knows all. So naturally, I also know where to find the former owners of Demon Spellbooks. Who is this mysterious man? All we can really see is that he has freckles. Which partners from the original series had freckles? If you're reading this for the first time, maybe you remembered it, maybe you didn't. I had a good idea at this point who this person was, and I was, unlike many people, seeing page 14 and page 15 without a week break in between. It was part of one sequence for me, so I did not need to speculate for very long, but I did try to take a guess. Way to go, Dr. Riddles. Have you really been seeking out all of the other partners this whole time? Cutting it a bit closer, The moment I got your call, I raced back here as fast as I could. He's out of breath. So, at long last, we have Vino's appearance in Zatch Bell 2. Surprisingly, I would say a little underwhelming. I think that's kind of by design. I think Raikou is planning stuff with Vino for later. I don't think Vino is going to have a big role in this conflict. I thought that he would. I thought he would come in and do any number of things. Being intelligent like Kyo, as it was my idea, that he would find a way to help. Using some sort of chemicals that they... Sorry, are we still streaming? I got a notice that said my OBS disconnected. Okay. Was there any drop? Whatever. Okay, continuing. Huh? How he get vial? That one mine! When old man take it? Dr. Riddles, while he was talking to Bobby, pilfered this vial from a pretty difficult place. But we'll suspend our disbelief a little bit for this. Dr. Riddle's smiling. So Apollo's outside at the van. Apollo, who is almost I feel like not spoken in any of his appearances. I think he spoke a little. They were talking to him when they got the video message from Big Boy. Most of the time he's just there. Another soul comes out of this box, shining, goes, lands in the sarcophagus just like we've seen before. Yes, I can finally see it. A glimmer of hope. Dr. Riddles has always had an uncanny ability to track down exactly who he needed to. And we've known this. This has actually been a topic of discussion that I've taken part in pretty recently on the Discord. Is, how did he find Sunbeam? Does it make sense that he does? Obviously, it's very difficult, but, I think that he could have found multiple people and introduced them to Polygon. And I think it's also just about the way you do it, you know? I think, he has a large information network that if he sets himself to sort of a task with a kind of an undefined goal, just find someone unique who is good with animals. You might end up finding some people who stick out. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. Anyway, this time he's tracked down someone else. He even made great use of that talent in the battle to decide the king of the demon world. He must have decided to pick up the search again as soon as I contacted him. He's probably been looking for the book owner ever since. I don't recognize this guy. Is he someone I've never met? So yeah, we don't exactly know the timeline for this plan. I would like to know it. There is some narration in this chapter, which is kind of rare for Zatch Bell, a little later. And I would have liked even more to explain around what time did Dr. Riddle start looking. After it has to have been after the battle started when he would have actually picked the specific person he needed, because he would have had to have known that it was someone whose spell vial the enemies would have. I also see some panels from the first series there. Doesn't matter who it is, I'll take any demon's help. Another demon fighting in our place will give me a chance to recover my heart energy. The sarcophagus starts to crack. I should stop taking this off. Ejasuri-garon! If it's a strong demon, then that's even better. Robo-Ruga! So, who is it? So, get the suspense up here. Sarcophagus shatters. Beepo pa! My name is Koro Q! Kyo is very, very shocked. We have Koro Q. Surprisingly, or maybe unsurprisingly, if you know that Raikou has featured him from time to time in both the Gash Cafes and the Q&A in his anniversary special book. It's clear Raikou likes the guy. We see him now with a new appearance. He is growing. He is a robot, but he is growing. These robots age, and I don't know how that physically happens, but he has more parts now. He's bigger. He still has the cube body and the head. Now he has antennas with circles on them. He has legs with treads as feet, and he has this little, looks like a fan. And I don't know what you would call that, his navel. Kyo has tears in his eyes. Grub is, I'm not sure what Grub's reaction here is. Looks like they're happy to see each other. Grub, I missed you so much, P. Me too, pal. You sure have grown, haven't you? Vino told me everything about how the demon world is in peril. So let's take on the mantle and fight again. Whoa. Gosh, Piyomaro, what happened to you guys? You look all beat up, huh? Well, have no fear. The ever-reliable Coral Q is here to save you. I am disappointed beyond belief. Why did it have to be you? Coral Q is devastated. Fine, then I won't help you, B. You're still the same enemy as before, B. Chicken, Kiyomaru's a chicken. Kiyomaru, we need all the help we can get right now. There's no time to be picky. Sorry, you're right. Grub, let's work out a plan. And Q is rolling around on his treads. His tread feet. Okay, so we have some comments here. Welcome, Zatch Bell Gamer. Okay, what were you watching? Justin was like, why him of all people? So many people. I think Grub was just being wacky and cute. I didn't really get it either. Yeah, I don't know. Just his way of saying hi. It's one stupid interruption after another. Blue is not letting them just stick around and do this. Now, Grub, Robo-Rook! So the transformation is a little more complex than it was before. Not much more, but a little more. But just like before, he sort of just flashes and becomes the big robot. You don't see what happens in the intro. I don't think anyone sees what happens in the intro there. It just happens. Q is mad just seeing the spell again. Blast shot! No! So Coral Q, he's a robot, not immune to damage from the spell, which I think Raikou is playing with that assumption that, well, surely since he's a robot, he would be immune to a sort of, poison or acid type of damage. No, he's not. Grub, how many pages can you read? How many spells can you use right now? Just a sec. No! Think of it as being like on auto-tune or something. Maybe he has auto-tune on his voice. I cannot imitate that, though. Oh, yeah, you watch The Chosen. Okay, no, I mean, I know The Chosen. It's yes, it's religious, but it's very popular. And there's some actors in it who are, the guy that plays Jesus in that show did something. What am I thinking of? Oh, he's in Death Stranding 2 coming up. Yeah. No, it's a very popular show. Maybe not for everybody, yes, but it's very popular. 3 spells. Q nods. No! Now Hem is beating up on him for some reason. Hem is here. I'm just a junker robot! Coral Q, we're going to make one last stand against them. Our plan's success will completely depend on how well you can work with Gash. I need you to fire at the precise moment and in the exact direction that I tell you to. And Q is like barfing up like nuts and bolts. I don't remember if he did this in the original series. Why should I ever work with you, Piyamaro? I noticed something about your Robo-Rook transformation. You made some cool new upgrades with the little wings on your back, didn't you? On second thought, maybe I'd be willing to team up with you just this once. Yep, thank goodness he's still as simple-circuited as he used to be. This is the end for all of you! Butterfly. Psh. Preparing for a Robo-Ruga. I'm not sure what the deal is with the little image effect on Q, but if I had to guess, I would say it is showing that either Kyo is pushing his head slightly with his hand to get the aim gesture right, or that Q himself is shifting his position slightly to aim. But you can only see it in his eyes, so maybe it is also just his eyes that are moving. I don't know. Robo-Ruga! Timing is everything. Neato! Now we get some narration, which, like I said earlier, is pretty rare. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? I think part of Kimaru's face was because he knew that spell doesn't withstand anything past low-level projectiles, and because he had bad memories of the time a spell be used on him. Yeah. The nuts and bolts thing is definitely new. Okay, nice to confirm that. Ordinarily, Robo-Ruga isn't even half as strong as the Butterfly Needle, but roughly 80% of the Butterfly Needle's full force is only unleashed once the energy converges at the midpoint of the beam. Shot with Kimaru's perfect timing and pinpoint accuracy, the Robo-Ruga shreds the higher level Butterfly Needle attack before it even gets the chance to form. We see that happening. So we don't necessarily really see that even hurting Blue. What's important is that it avoids the attack. Bizarre Robo-Ruga! And now this is a spell that he did have in the original, if I recall, right? I think I looked this up. I assume it looked a little different. But Q shoots this missile out of his chest. Zatch is riding on the missile, grabbing onto it with his effed up arm. He's gotten his arms effed up before in this series, though, and he's been fine. And then Kyo grabs onto Zatch's mantle. This is a cool panel, them flying like this. I love this. This is something new for this, for this kind of fight. It's like riding on a spell. That's not Ponygon. So they're riding on this drill missile, going straight for him. Oh, you think it wise to charge toward me with such a low-level spell? In a way, I can't help but be pleased by this turn of events. When we battled before, the status quo was that every demon we came across was just another rival. But that's not the case anymore. In order to protect Coral Q's homeworld and all of their friends and family, the demons are banding together and cooperating with each other. Bitter enemies have evolved into a team of heroes. You'd be a fool to underestimate the power of our hearts now that we've aligned with the side of justice. This is a nice little summation of like almost the arc of the entire series so far. Top of the missile splits off, which is something that I suppose if you remember that fight very well, you would know would happen. I kind of didn't remember. First missile, target Hem! I assume that's Grub saying that. She's the commander. Or it could be Q saying it. I'll use this courage welling up inside my heart. And Hem tries to block the missile. To ravage Hem's body! Missile crushes into him, exploding, ripping some of his tentacles apart, it looks like. This surprised me, honestly. It surprises Hem, and it surprises me. You know, I suppose their Zakaraga was made with pretty low heart power, and this Bizarre Roboruga is made with very high heart power, so it really does make a difference, you know. He staggered. Perfect. Nice going, Grub. I knew that if we could knock him off balance for even just a second... He's probably saying what? What is he saying? He's not saying anything. Oh, you're saying... Right. Oh, you're saying that he's saying that. Yeah. No, right. That he's saying who to target. Yeah. Okay. So, then we could set our sights on the true target. Second missile. Attack Rolling Witch. Still riding on it. Attack me? Then I'll just have to roll with the punches. She lets go of the, I guess, the bar she's spinning on, right? I assume that's what it hits. It hits something. She flies off. Ever since his battle with Wade. More narration. Kiyomaru has been diligently searching for an orb on each foe that would identify their weak point. The Rolling Witch is no exception. Kiyomaru has been carefully observing her all the while. He's been keeping a close eye on that particular spot. I'm sure that orb will be destroyed if we can score a direct hit with Zakaraga. If you could just break through Hem's ironclad defense and find a way to stop a Rolling Witch from spinning, then that's the only shot we'd have at winning this battle. Excuse me. With this final blow, Dr. Riddles and Blue can both be saved. Blue's falling apart here. Not looking good. Zakaraga! Hits. Perfect shot. Direct hit. Kazam. Nice little sound effect there. Zatch Gamer. Right on the orb. Shocking the Rolling Witch. Surely she's defeated. Because if she's not, this battle is going to be even tougher, the rest of it, than it might still be, if there is more left of it, which there definitely might be. So that is where we end Chapter 23, and where we started a 2-month, 1-month break, you might say, which we are still not halfway through yet. We're almost halfway through it. But, well, no, we're not really almost halfway. We're like a quarter through. So that's that. It was another battle chapter, but another good battle chapter, and obviously, you know, one of the biggest discussion chapters of the series so far, because every time Momoto comes back, it's a big deal. But this chapter really showed that the order that these Momoto come back in is not set. It's been, you know, it's been what you'd think so far, right? You gotta have Zatch first, then you have Conchime, because he's funny, he's unexpected. In Fulgore is, like, in many ways, like, the most popular partner, or one of the most popular things in the series. So you do Conchime second, you do Tia third, she's, like, the right-hand person, and fourth would be Brago or Ponygon, but Ponygon always gets the short shrift, and Brago's super popular, so you do Brago fourth. We had some surprises after that with things like Acheron and Barry making an appearance. But in terms of what Momoto are actually coming back from the dead in fighting roles, it was very surprising for many people to see Coral Q, not the least the people who were sure that Kiddo was going to come back from reading the preview. So, do you think next time we'll see what this Thunder Dragon egg will do? Yeah, it's a good question, Justin. It's a question I am always talking about on these streams. And it's, every chapter I think, maybe this time we'll see the Thunder Dragon egg, and then I'm wrong. I think if the fight does continue, then there is a high likelihood of it. If it's not used this fight, then because if they had a reason to use the Thunder Dragon egg, they probably would have already done so. So maybe because of that, let's say they're not going to use it this fight, and the reason why, going logically, why would they not use it if they had it, is because it's not ready yet. And they need to do something, they need to incubate it, whatever they need to do to get it to hatch, to be ready. And if that's the case, who knows when we're going to see this thing. It could be another 3 volumes, I think we're going to see it before the end of the year, but, that's still several chapters. So, it's, I really want to see it. I want to see what these things in the volume covers are. It's been another point of discussion as to whether Brago will have a new spell on the volume cover. I'm not sure if he will. Yeah, that's been the theme. With Consumes, it was a spell we actually had seen. With Zatch and Tia, it's something else, things that might not even be spells. But I do think and kind of hope that this fight will continue. I think it would be weird if Hem was down for the count or just escaped after this. But, I think that if, say, I don't know if Blue and Bobby are now going to turn against Hem, because turning against Hem means turning against Belial. And Belial seems like he can just kind of kill them from anywhere. So it still seems like Blue and Bobby are not going to want to do that. But the way things are going, it's pretty clear that they are going to be saved. And that's what all this has been for. So, I don't know. I'm not sure if... Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going to happen there. Even if there is more battle, I think Blue and Bobby will have a way to be safe, and they might be with us from now on, which would be cool. To have... But it's like, how could that happen with Belial controlling them and being able to kill them? And I don't know. It seems like that's the way things are going. Bobby has this weapon that seems to be like some sort of monster that he's using, and that is probably involved in his backstory. So in the chapter, Ray's, Zaspel Gamer, was nice enough to put in this page after the chapter explaining why he translated the character names as they are. There's been a lot of discussion on this in the server recently, sort of rethinking the character names that we know pretty well from other translations. And, some of them are pretty obvious. Some of them I don't really know if I like or agree with. There's one that's been popular, not just on our server, but elsewhere as well, of spelling Sherry's name, Sherie, which I'm not personally a fan of. But, if Raikou were to just spell the name in English, then I guess that would solve all the mysteries there. But plenty of them I am fine with. There's an interesting note here that Coral Q's name is now spelled with an H, because there is something called a Korokyu toy car in Japan. And, what I think we're realizing is that with Raikou, like, almost everything is like a little reference to something. Like almost every character name, there's some logic behind it. Every one that sounds weird, there's something there. And, we don't know all this for sure. It's all kind of speculation. The speculation on Grub's name is that there is something in Linux called Grub, sort of an applet or something in Linux that you can use there. Now, we don't know if this is why Grub is named that. Grub's a really weird name, and he's clearly kind of a nerd. He was a nerd before he got this new appearance to fool the the reader. But it's an interesting thing to think about. And I played Spot the Reference many times myself when I tried to do my investigating on the Rolling Witch, which I was not the one who figured that Um, I think Blue and Bobby are set to withdraw now, yes, along with Hem. But there's no telling what Belial's reception that will be. It's so weird that Hem was talking such a big game and being so scary, and he just sits there and then gets beaten and escapes. To me, that seems a little lame. So I would like it to continue. I like recently how the villains have been pretty intelligent and doing things pretty well. I'd like to see that continue. Yes, one of these days Raikou will have a villain destroy one of these books. That's going to be quite a topic of discussion. Yeah, that actually isn't really something I thought about, is what would happen to that Mamoto, especially if they were one that got brought back to life. Would they just go back to the Mamoto world as they were, or would they die? I kind of doubt that, but who knows? I think Blue is the new Kiddo. Justin, are you saying that you think Dr. Riddles is going to sort of partner with her? Because I don't know about that. I think we are going to see Kiddo again. It's just going to take some time. You also asked, which are some of the other spells Gash should get back? I think it would be interesting just to start with different spells like Jakirdor or Zagurzem. He's not going to get Bao back probably until the end of the series. Plus, we have the Thunder Dragon Egg to probably kind of replace Bao. So, yeah. But, I think we'll see new spells for Zatch as well, just like we did with Contraman. Still trying to figure out why Gofure might be named after waffles. Yeah, I've seen the discussion on that as well. Who the heck knows? We recently found out Naomi's inspiration, which also figures into her name, is she's apparently modeled after a Japanese celebrity named Naoko, which is one in a very strange series of Raikou, appearing to have some sort of fascination with women with large teeth. I don't know. he thinks they're hilarious or something. I just hope he'd be a nice guy about it if he was ever with someone like that in real life. Yeah, I don't know. You wouldn't be the first person to draw a Japanese celebrity in a funny way in a series. That happened in Bobobo and many other things. So what else is there to talk about regarding this chapter? Despite all the discussion it created, like I said earlier, it still was mostly a battle chapter. Like Coral Q just really set people on fire. Like that was just, it amused me a lot too. And it's cool just to have a different person on the team who is a fighter, and maybe, still has energy left in them if this fight does continue too. Blue's disco move was weird. Clearly they, wanted her to have some sort of deflecting, sending back move, and for whatever reason they decided that it should be through, like, dancing. Maybe this is also a reference, who knows? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not gonna try to search for it. But beyond that, there's questions about what's gonna happen with Vino now. What's gonna happen with all the people we've gathered up to now. I mean, if Blue and Bobby are with us, if Dr. Riddles is with us, if Grub and Coral Q are with us, if Vino is with us, are they all going to come along on Apollo's jet? Or are we, similar to what we've done in the last arc, the last few arcs, going to just leave them all in Nevada and move on to something else? I think it's time to, start shoring up our team a little bit more. I think it would make sense to finally start doing that. I was thinking Zakera, maybe Jakardu, or Razaruk. Yeah, I mean, Razaruk would be an awesome spell to see, I think, because Zatch just being bigger, I think it would be very cool to just see him use that, being much taller and with maybe martial archery or something. The disco move might be at another JoJo reference of some kind. That doesn't seem familiar to me, what I'm thinking. There's a chance Clear could come back. Well, that's something we've talked about I think, in past streams, and it's something that gets talked about a lot on the Discord server. And, it's possible, but I think it's more likely that White will be pretty strongly involved as Vino's partner and be his own character. I don't think, not only do I not really think Clear is going to come back, I don't even think they're going to do a thing where White is, like, inhabited by Clear or has a dark side that's Clear or anything like that. I think that Raikou is going to just not simply want to reverse that. And I love Clear. I would not really mind seeing Clear come back if it made sense. I just don't really know if Raikou is going to go for that. I think White can be plenty interesting. He could have Clear's abilities. He could have new abilities that are different. And, as long as he's still with Vino, they could still meditate on Vino's relationship with Clear and how Clear affected Vino growing up and all kinds of stuff. Mir, what if Gorm and Mir come back? Gorm kind of came back already, but what if Mir comes back? How does she feel about there being a reincarnated Clear who was a good guy? If White does come back, he should have the same spells. We don't really know, I guess. We don't know how it works. We don't know if the soul that was put into White was like the same kind of soul that the Momotos are right now, that Apollo has. That they're taking, I think, from the Momoto world, where someone's keeping watch on them. It seems, I think that there might be some kind of change, because Clear's power is, it's such a devastating power, it's fitting of his character and his personality and his goals. I don't know if White, since White is not like that, if White would have those powers. And yeah, that's a good question. At the time, Vino was a baby, so would he remember who Clear was? The only thing I can really say to that is that Vino did seem to be hyper intelligent as a baby. He spoke, he could read spells, he seemed evil in a way. So I think Clear might have had some effect on his development. Clear is such a weird thing all of his own that he might have some sort of influence outside of his self. And he might have sort of like developed Vino's mind in a way to make him more intelligent. And so maybe he would remember Clear, I think. But I don't think that's going to impact Vino's story very much. That was my idea for a Zatch Bell 2 a long time ago when I liked edgy stuff like that, is that Clear's influence would have gotten a hold of Vino and he would have started like being evil and hurting people, and Kyo would have to find him and stop it. But I don't like stuff like that anymore. That's dark for the sake of dark. So, but I think there's a lot of possibilities, clearly, we're just talking about it, for what Rai can do with Clear and Vino and White. And I think he totally intends to do it if he's introducing Vino now. I think Vino could end up becoming a really major character along with Zara, as sort of like the next generation. Even though Zara's like she's older than most of the original series characters were, I think. Vino isn't. I assume Vino is about the same age as Kyo, and he looks... It's interesting to see how he looks, because he doesn't look like a character that Raikou would have drawn in Zatch Bell, but he looks a lot like a character that Raikou would have drawn in Vector Ball, which was his third manga, and took place in a high school, and had people that looked all kinds of different ways. And there were characters that looked a lot like Vino does now. But yeah, there's always more to talk about, to speculate on with every chapter that comes out. We should cherish that, because at one point there will be a time when there is not anything to speculate on. We will have seen everything. It would have been interesting to see Marus come back, honestly, instead of Coral Q. We could obviously tell that was not Marus's partner. But just, since his spell element was another one being used by Bobby, it would have been interesting to see, I think we haven't seen that yet, of a character who was a clear villain coming back and having to, deal with the hurt they caused to people during the first battle. And if they maybe regret that, which it seems like most characters probably do, because they helped Zatch with the Golden Book at the end of the original series. But, I think there are some who maybe did that begrudgingly and are still pretty evil, or maybe there are some who have just grown a lot. I think Marus is someone who easily could have, really grown up in between the two series and might want to apologize to Tia for, the pain he caused her. I think it'd be really interesting to see something like that, and I wouldn't mind for the next character to return to be a villain. I definitely think that there's going to be at least one villain from the original series who is still a villain and might even work with the enemy. That's been something that's been getting discussed quite a lot too. Some people think it's going to be Zeno, because we know he went to the enemy's headquarters and might have gotten captured and might now be forced to work for them. If they killed him, possibly he could have even been brought back as a card. We don't know exactly how that works. But, people like Zophis or Rodu, who does have a nice side to him, but, they were in the Zatch Cafe sort of plotting, and so they might definitely still be evil. And yeah, Justin, I agree with you that Zara is going to be Zoe's partner. It seems pretty clear. Like, we saw her get a book at a time when there were not many characters in the series to begin with, aside from Zelly and the gang. And, we also have the you call you call it the Chekhov's gun. You present an object in the story to be used later on of Zelly trying to use her spell, Beriru, multiple times. Penny would be interesting. You can see I'm still dub brain. I'm still calling her Penny. She'd be interesting. She's very much a good person now, but it would be interesting to give her more challenges to come through and more of a role and an interesting role, because she has really cool spells, cool abilities. There's a lot Raikou could explore. I think now with Coral Q being back at this point, I think we can look forward to him highlighting some of the more minor characters from the series. I mean, we've kind of been saying this for a while. Like, I think, for instance, Lila and Pamoon, two Millennium Motor that people really liked, characters who, Lila, I think, asked them to burn her book. Pamoon was just in it. Pamoon was in the game. He was like, all right, I'm with you guys, let's go. And then he got his book burned by Zophis. What if he didn't, what if he was just in with the hero team? And I think we'll get to see stuff like that now. Do you think she's still in love with Gash? Probably. I think maybe it would manifest differently right now. But I think she probably is. Maybe she's in love with someone else. Victorine is inevitable. Yeah, I don't need to mention Victorine. He's gonna be big when he appears. There's also Barancha. Barancha is one of my favorite minor Emoto. I think it's just a really interesting character. One of the rare female Emoto. Sort of a plotter, clever with her partner, cool spells, and also just a panther. There's nothing that is just a panther. She's purple. She's got two tails, a little heart. Other than that, she's just a panther. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy, folks. And I think that's cool. I think that's neat. So I would really like to see Barancha again. I think there's a lot of potential there, especially if Raikou wants to do a little better with representation this time, which is a whole thing. Which I don't really want to discuss this stream with Lupa and all that. I've discussed that enough elsewhere. We'll see. There is still hope for Rops. Oh, there's a lot of hope for Rops for sure. Brandis spells might be in the briefcase that Jamoda and Gamu had. That's interesting. I don't remember if there was an element that looked like it could have been hers. I mean, people love Apollo. They love Rops. I mean, like Pamoon, Rops is one of those characters who, for years and years you'd hear people say, I just wish we would have seen more of that guy. Raikou had to make a sacrifice out of someone to show off Zeno. Unless the sarcophagus gets destroyed before he can revive, he's got to be coming back. Right. One of the only sarcophaguses, probably not the correct plural, that people were actually pretty sure about in that original 2-page spread that showed them all was one that people thought was Rops. So yeah, no, I think Rops is coming back. And yes, a sarcophagus might get destroyed. It's not going to be Rops's. That would be horrible. How much pain can this one little ladybug endure? Man, oh man. That would be a scary thing to see, though. A chance at a Momoto coming back that's taken away. It'd be very effective, though. and will once again be a way for Raikou to mind drama without really actually killing anyone. So it's been, I think, about an hour, right? Which is how long we tend to go. Where's the time on this thing? 50 minutes. What else is there to say? Snap is the best says, I want Layla. You're not the only one. Yeah, I think she's one of the most wanted characters. I did my survey. I don't know if I can find my Reddit post on that, where I had people answer which characters do we want? Here. Let me look here. Which characters do we want to come back? I'm going to link this because some of you might not have seen it. It's been a while. And this isn't something I don't know if I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to do this again. But this is a great thing. I'm very happy I did this. Why are you using a Discord emote on YouTube? This is the Reddit post for the answers to my survey. We got a lot of responses. We got over 150, if I recall. Maybe about 150. But anyways, Asheville Gamer says, I know it would be horrible, but it would be like squashing the bug. Which makes sense. I mean, sure, but we've already done that. Raiku's not going to put Apollo through that again. Okay, so let me scroll down. I know we have a question about it. But I asked a lot of questions. We got a lot of different opinions. It was interesting keeping everyone to considering only one answer. But I think it was a good thing to do, at least for the first survey, if I ever do another one. And, it's especially interesting looking at the Zatch Bell 2 questions because things have there you go, that emote works. Because things have really changed for the series since it started. Where, we get Zelly as the answer. Over a quarter of the people voting, who's your favorite new character in the series, that answer might be Blue now. It might be Pola. It might be Belial. This is before all of them. We didn't even have Levy, if I recall. I think this was literally after the first arc, or maybe one chapter into Contra-Maze when this happened, when Levy didn't even have a name. So things have really changed. And another question where things might have changed is how long of a series do you think Zatch Bell 2 will be? A quarter of people that voted said 7 to 12 volumes. I think that would be quite a bit lower now. I think you've got a lot more people thinking it's going to be 13 to 24 or even longer than that. So, did we have an answer? Okay, so the question was phrased this way: which character's post-time skip appearance do you most want to see? So it wasn't entirely phrased like which Momoto do you want to come back specifically. However, interesting to note, the two characters that won that question, Conchime and Brago, we've now seen. Tia, second place, we've now seen. So right now, the top character who has not shown up yet is Zeno. Under him is Ponygon. Under him is Fulgore, who we've seen. Under him is Barry, who we've seen. Under him is Megumi, who we've seen. Under her, tied, are Suzume and Kalulu. So those, at least from my poll, are the characters that people most want to return right now are Zeno, Suzume, and Kalulu. Hamuna and Layla actually rank pretty low, which you might say, it's not to say that people don't want them. They only got 2 votes each, but it was the stipulation that they could only have one answer. So I'm sure a lot of people who want to see Zeno also do want to see Layla and Pamoon. They just couldn't answer that. Okay, so here's another related question. This is maybe more what I was looking for, actually. I scrolled by this. Is there a character you feel didn't get the spotlight they deserved in the original series and should get their time now? If so, who? Did anyone answer Juan Ray? Justin asked. Yeah, not many. Wanrei got 3 votes. But considering all the other characters, I mean, just to put it in perspective, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wanrei is in like 12th place, so that's good. You know, for all the characters in the series, Wanrei is the 12th rank that people want to see back. That is pretty dang good. So for that other question, is there a character you feel didn't get the spotlight they deserve? So basically, don't even think about main characters. Think about more minor characters. The winners of that are Kalulu and Robs. Under that is Danny. Under that is Barry. Under that, Pamun, Laila, and Zeno, even though he got quite a lot of exposure, are tied. So that is maybe a little better question because we were discussing who might Raikou bring back to give more of a spotlight. So a lot of people want Kalulu and Robs, and I think we will see Robs. So yeah, if you want to go through that page, I would recommend it. I think it went super well, and I would love to do another one, but there's a couple of reasons I maybe don't want to. Definitely, it would be interesting to ask a lot of new Zatch Bell 2 questions again. So I think we're going to leave it there. I guess for Zatch Bell 2, I will see you guys again in a month and a half for Chapter 24. I think before that point happens, we will probably have the Volume 4 cover, which I'm sure is going to be awesome. Possibly very funny, considering how huge Brago is now. But Brago always looks super cool on volume covers, so I'm really excited. So I think that's that. Thanks to everyone who came in the chat. I love having people discuss throughout the whole stream. And sorry for the wait for anyone who was looking forward to the stream. You know, I don't think it's something you should expect. I think there's going to be plenty of chapters where I do the streams pretty soon after they come out. But I'm glad we got that done. I'm glad we spent quite a lot of time going through this chapter, talking about it. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Thank you, Stam. I appreciate that. All right, so y'all have a good night, and I will see you guys for the next chapter.